WWE fans, welcome in. We are the Backstage Jabronis. I'm Jeremy York. He's Daniel Snyder. We're here to talk all things WWE, and of course, that means this weekend, just tomorrow actually, is Backlash, WWE Backlash, in St. Louis, Missouri, the hometown of one Randall Keith Orton, and right there next to a lot of other people on the card. But first, how are you, tag team partner?
Getting over this illness. I'm going to do a little coughing here, but other than that, I think I'm on the upscale from it.
That's good because we've got a main event tonight.
Yes,
As we said, Backlash is this weekend. Let me make sure I had that right. It is in St. Louis. Yeah, St. Louis,
yeah, it's
Missouri,
in St. Louis.
at the Enterprise Center. I guess they're renting that one out. Not sure how that works, but this one's called One Last Time.
Is
Probably
anything, is anything really ever one last time when it comes to John Cena?
from everything I've gathered and everything that I think I understand about John Cena. Yes, I think this really is it. I don't think he's gonna like when he
But
says I'm done and walk. He might come back and have the hustle, loyalty, and respect, and do the motions and come out and do all the stuff. But I think when he says this is my last match, that's the last match.
well, yeah, but I'm talking about like they're saying that this is one last time. It's Orton versus Cena.
Oh,
If that's the case, then you're giving
ooh,
away the ending already. You're already
yeah,
giving away the ending.
you are.
John Cena's going to win.
Yeah, I
Which
agree with that.
Yes, so that's they got to be careful how they word stuff. But that's WWE for you.
I was about to say, I think we're about 15, 20 years too late on telling them that lesson of let's
Yeah,
watch the wording. The wording is very important. But yeah,
yeah.
let's start right there with the main event then. Cena versus RKO. Man, I love that they've shown all these highlights here in the past couple of weeks, whether it's Raw or SmackDown. Like they showed every time that John Cena has been RKO'd by Randy Orton, which was quite an extensive video. I thought that was pretty funny. But they've just showed highlights of the times they faced off, and these two came in together. These two were in Ohio Valley at the same time. Do you remember the class that was at Ohio Valley all there at once? The class that
Yeah,
they signed.
Lesnar, Lesnar and Bautista were there with both of them.
Yeah, and there
It
was
was
like three or four other
Shelton
ones.
Benjamin. Shelton
Yeah,
Benjamin was there.
they were all signed at once, and it's
Yeah,
just and
it was,
like I'd say four of the top five they signed are Hall of Famers, and the other ones were like not too shabby either.
but um, Randy Orton's did most of the talking. I'm interested to see what's going to happen tonight on SmackDown. Because it seemed like Randy Orton has gotten the best of John Cena in every single interaction between the two. And there's no way, like John Cena has not gotten better of him yet. There's no way that you have John Cena not getting the better of Randy Orton in every single interaction. So tonight, Cena has to get the better of him, but man, that means Orton is going to be winning. That's
Right?
not the case. This is what's going
No.
to happen. It's going to be circuit 2009, 2010. Randy Orton's going to have him. He's going to have him beat, and John Cena's going to slap the taste out the referee. He's going to get him back for that time that Orton did that to him.
Yeah, I could see that.
So I say,
Um,
regardless, John Cena wins,
yeah, I don't.
or Randy Orton wins
Well,
by disqualification.
there is that, but let me throw this out there too. Cena the whole time has said he's going to ruin wrestling. He's basically rewriting the script and all that, and I think what he's trying to say with that, he's saying facts. He's changing it up because the way they were where they were headed, the way they're going, there's not a lot of meat left on that bone. It's kind of like the Attitude Era. Everybody thinks the Attitude Era was like a 10, 12-year run. It was 4 years. It was only 4 years that the Attitude Era technically was. it might
Yeah.
have been one of the biggest boom times, but that's what he's trying to say now is that the way we've done everything in the last couple years is about to go away, and I'm going to rewrite it. He said, I'm going to be the last Universal Champion. Well, that just tells me they're going to rename it or they're going to combine the belts. They're going to do something like that because that's his way of saying he's not reinventing the wheel. He's trying to change it for the better on his way out. And I think that's why I'm actually kind of in Cena's corner, regardless if I pick him for matches or not. But I like what he's doing, that he's like, well, things need to change and I'm on my way out. So I can take every punch on the chin on the way out and be fine. I'm the one who can take all the hits, and that way Triple H, and that way Adam Pearce, and that way just WWE in general doesn't, take all these blows to the head. They're actually trying to, I don't know exactly where they're going with it, but what they're trying to do is change it for the better because they see that if they can get ahead of it now, they can continue to be ahead of
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be something. I think that they have. There might even be somebody because Randy Orton is going to. You know what? Is Kevin Owens able to come back yet, or how long is he going to be out?
I heard it was like his neck is legit.
Well, I mean, but I'm
It's
wondering how long. It's probably,
like he might can avoid surgery here or there, but we're talking like I think they said more Daniel Bryan than Edge, but kind of same ballpark. Like there's some
but that's
things you could do to kind of like Kurt Angle. You can do some things to patch it, but you're really like to fix it good. I think they would have to go in there and do the surgery and all that. And I don't know where
so.
he is
Then
with that. But I agree that
that's
bringing somebody in like that would be great. But I would
because you've
also
got to
say,
though. Because I mean,
hmm,
what do you do with Randy Orton after
right.
he loses this match? You're not going to have him continue to chase. So somebody's got to interfere for. You know what?
I know who.
Joe Hendry. The way he got messed up at WrestleMania and how
See, I'm glad you said that because that just helped my theory even more. I'm going to say that in order for John Cena to rewrite the script the way he's doing, he doesn't have to have the world title to do that. I'm saying Randy Orton could win the title right here and finally get the best of John Cena, something he has really not done his entire career. So Cena's not tied to the title anymore. He can kind of freelance and he can basically just pick his poison. He can go against Kofi Kingston or he can go against Gunther or he can go against anybody at that point. But
that makes
with Orton, you have to go somewhere with it. And I'm going to say this prediction about Joe Hendry. This will be maybe the last I say of him on this show. Love the guy. The next time we see Joe Hendry in a WWE ring is SummerSlam. I think Orton wins the belt tonight. I think we've got like 2 months till SummerSlam at that point. Orton might drop the belt between here and there, and then you get Orton Hendry at SummerSlam.
see what that messes up the whole Orton winning the belt messes up the whole John Cena saying I'm taking this title with me. Because once again, what do you do with John Cena now? Because his whole thing is I want to take this title with me so nobody
Well,
has it.
but see, he's still far from the end because we know end of the year is end of career for him. So we're still, as
Yeah.
somebody
So
whose
so
birthday
what's he doing?
is
Is he
within days
chasing
of him quitting.
is he chasing the other one then? Is he going after the other title? Or are we gonna have him still competing with because he will always be chasing Randy? It's just
See,
like I
I'll
said,
say I don't think that the current world title run, is John Cena's last. I think he's
oh,
going to win again before the end of the year. That's why I
oh,
think he drops it
just
now. And I think sometime October, November, maybe he wins at his last match and takes the title with him because you technically can't lose it if you leave.
okay. Well, I say he wins tomorrow night.
You want Cena?
Yeah, I say he wins.
I'm going Orton because I think Orton is going to drop
Title
it
already.
possibly on the next pay per view to somebody else on this card who is going to get a much needed win. They have evolved this particular person into a lack of a better way to say it for everybody who used to watch the cartoon, a Super Saiyan version of what he was. He is up another level based off what he's done recently.
Well,
That
fight
we'll go
through.
right to that.
Yeah.
I think the person that takes it off Randy Orton, possibly within the next month, is Gunther.
See, I feel like Gunther's got too much other stuff going on as well on a whole nother show. I feel like Gunther's
Well,
not
think of it this
not.
way: this is this is such a crazy. There's so many parts in this. This is like making the world's worst recipe. But Cena loses the belt to Orton. Orton loses the belt to Gunther. Gunther takes the belt into SummerSlam when he faces Goldberg in Goldberg's last match, so that there's a carrot for him to be involved in. Because he's not like Goldberg's not just going to be defending Pat McAfee and Scott Steiner and Michael Cole, who are going to be wronged by Gunther in the next 30 days by far. Like this is also Goldberg going out his way. He knows he's not going to beat Gunther. But if he comes out and looks respectable in his last match, and Gunther might be the one to give him that match, and for Gunther to go, because maybe he keeps trying to egg him on and calls him a bad father and says bad things about his wife or that his kid's terrible or something. And Goldberg's just like, whatever, buddy, whatever. And then he goes, oh, that's right. Bill Goldberg could never win the big one when he needed to. All of a sudden, Goldberg's like, all right, we'll fight. Because now he has something. It's not just defending people's honor. He has the title to go to. And in a weird way, he has a semi-legit chance to win. He's not going to. But it gives him more meat on the bone to be involved.
I don't know. I mean, it's interesting how you're going. I just don't. I don't see Cena and Gunther facing each other anytime within the next couple months. I think we'll
No,
see
no, no.
them.
No,
If they do, it could be in October or November.
not Cena. Oh, you mean when Cena wins the belt again?
Yeah, or if he, I mean, or I don't see Gunther on SmackDown anytime soon.
Because see, you just made all this stuff you did with Gunther. You took his heel rating up 3 levels with just the diabolical stuff he did to Pat McAfee and Michael Cole. Because up until now, they've kind of left the ringside people alone. The last time the ringside people took any kind of hit, for the most part, was when the Nexus group
Yeah,
attacked everybody at ringside, and nobody at ringside had an idea what was going to happen. Until then, nobody's really went after the commentary team. Like they've yelled at them, they've pushed them, maybe slapped them,
but not
but
attack, attack.
he legit was trying to choke them both out. And so, it takes you up a whole new level. Like, why would you attack these people? You're a bully. It's something Gunther really hasn't been until now.
Well, I mean, I do since we are talking on, I do believe that there's no way that Gunther loses to Pat McAfee. If
DQ maybe,
maybe because he didn't let go of the hold or
like
something.
yeah, he's got the hold on, and they're
Yeah,
like, if you don't let go, I'm just gonna disqualify. And he's like, go
but
for it.
yeah, you cannot lose after and maybe if Scott Steiner and Goldberg and Michael Cole all get involved, then maybe Pat McAfee wins. Maybe Goldberg comes down there, spears him, and Pat McAfee pins him. Um,
And then maybe in the aftermath, he catches Goldberg unaware, and this starts building that program to where they're. Because yeah, I agree that Gunther could actually lose this and actually gain as much momentum as if he wins.
yes, yes. So I mean that's the only way. So and this match, I say only way Pat McAfee wins is if outside interference from somebody an unlikely source. Other than
I
that,
don't think
Gunther
it's
is
Michael
going.
Cole. I think Gunther is going to neutralize Scott Steiner, take him out at some point, something.
But
And I
does
hate it for
Braun
Steiner, but
does
Steiner's not going to be physical. So
does Braun Breaker let Gunther take out his uncle?
if Braun Breaker was not part of Dangerous Alliance 2.0, no, he doesn't. But
Even still,
but it makes no sense for the
him to go after
watchdog
him. I
of
agree.
yeah for the guard dog of the heel group to go after the master heel on the other show.
Yeah. Is it really a heel group though? Fans love Seth freaking Rollins. The fans love Braun Breaker. The fans love Paul Heyman. I wouldn't say they're a
On
heel, but they're
on
also not
on
a
paper,
face.
on paper, they're a heel faction
Yeah, yeah,
because of who they're attacking, and that usually will tell you
yeah.
which
Well, of
side they're
course,
supposed to be
yeah.
on. Yeah,
And they're
you know,
trying so hard.
up until recently, if you laid a hand on this guy, you were the heel.
They're trying so hard to make that a heel faction with attacking Jay, and it's only doing so much. Even now, Sammy, one of the biggest faces, and now they're trying with CM Punk too. I think that's why they're all being put in there.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
trying to really elevate that group, and they're bringing all the guns out to do it. It's sort of working. I mean, the Sammy angle really did well. Now CM Punk is not going to get beat down like that. We all know that. But I mean, we're going to get Punk Rollins again, but
Or will we
it
get
needs to mean it needs to mean something.
the CM Punk not try to see what he can do with Braun Breaker? That really elevate Braun Breaker's status.
The problem is, I wish Heyman wouldn't have low blowed CM Punk. If he would have just did Roman, maybe Roman takes out Punk and then he drops Roman. Heyman takes care of Roman. CM Punk added to this group would be fun.
Yeah, but then Seth and Punk they couldn't.
Exactly. You get the power struggle
Yeah,
because you get two guys who want to be the alpha and
two
only
alpha
one can
males.
be.
Yeah, not happening. Not happening.
And then you get
And,
Braun
and,
in the
and
middle. Like, if you guys don't
as
decide, I'll decide for you.
as soon as Braun decides that he wants to be the alpha male, he will take it, and that's when he turned that super duper face.
Yeah, he'll flip on Rollins a year
So
from
quick.
now or so.
I think it'll be sooner than that. I almost see a Batista H type thing where Seth's going to end up getting the title eventually, and Braun's going
Yeah,
to win. Bang.
possible. I think like you're still talking probably Royal Rumble, maybe slightly before. It's got to be a little ways because you have to
Got to
build
build this.
Braun.
Yeah.
You were building him into the superhero. Now he's the anti-hero, and he's the guard dog, as I said, the watchdog. So you got to keep that up long enough to where maybe somebody gets in his head about maybe CM Punk goes, how much longer are you going to keep doing his business when you can take him out too?
Well, I mean, since we're talking about the Beast on Raw, go ahead and talk about the Beast on SmackDown, the United States champion. He's got a
Yeah,
match tomorrow night.
he does. We both took, or what was your pick? You taking Gunther?
I Gunther unless somebody helps. Somebody helps.
Okay. Yeah,
I have to
I
I have
think I'm
to I
gonna.
have to give that both ways.
Yeah, you know what? Just for the sake of it, I'm just gonna go Patty Mac straight up. Like something nefarious, I think is gonna happen, and somehow he's gonna win that, and he is gonna have to do his talk show, the Pat McAfee show outdoors the entire next week because his ego will not fit inside a building if he wins that match. And I
Yeah.
don't blame him. Mine wouldn't either. I would have to do it on the moon. This show would be live from the moon the next week.
Uh,
But all right. Like you're saying, Jacob Fatu is going to defend his U.S. title against L.A. Knight.
Drew McIntyre. Oh yeah.
I was about to
You didn't
say,
you didn't
wow,
you didn't do the
wow.
LA night. You didn't do it
Washington. I guess
straight.
the
Threw me off.
L.A. Knight.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre. Um, if it was anybody but Jacob Fatu, I could make a case for why Damian Priest would probably win this match because him with the title is not a bad thing right now, especially being one of the middle titles. That's a good person to have it on. But the only time Jacob Fatu is going to drop this belt is when he's about to go for the big one.
Yes. Fatu wins this match. This there's going to be a time him and Solo bump heads, and it's going to start something there. Um, I think the seeds are going to get planted here. Solo's almost going to cause him to lose this match somehow.
Does Does Jacob Fatu start to put his own group together? Not necessarily bloodline. It could be, but
I
I
don't
say
think
that
so.
because very soon in NXT you are going to see Hikuleo, who is the half brother of Tama Tonga and Tongaloa. He's Haku's third kid. He is massive, big, giant kid, really good. They really like his work. He's going to be in NXT very soon. I don't think he's going to be there very long before he gets called up. And I think they're going to put him with somebody. I don't know they put him with his brothers. I don't know that you see Roman put the bloodline back together. I think that ship is
It's
gone.
ran its course.
But you're going to stick him with somebody. Um, Jacob Fatu could kind of throw his own little group together here. I don't. It won't have Solo in it, but
Well, that's what
there's a
I'm
couple
saying.
people because they've signed like three or four other guys from that family all in there somewhere. So there's people they could easily call up.
He could be the one that Solo grabs from NXT to go against Jacob once Jacob leaves. That would be a
It could
good.
be, yeah. Solo could use him as an enforcer, and really they could just be a two piece and be fine.
Well, I'd say with his other two brothers too, because you know, why not have the three brothers and Solo together?
Yeah, you could, and that would help Solo a lot because the three of them
Yes.
would actually listen to him. And I wouldn't call him the Bloodline though; I'd call him something else.
Nah, nah. I mean, I don't know the. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they'd come up with something. Wild Samoans 2.0. I don't know.
Something new. Well, Vince in there,
It's-
so it would actually be creative, whatever it is.
but yeah, Fatu wins this. It's gonna be a good match. There's gonna be a lot of high spots. I could
Yeah,
see Fatu losing this if somebody else gets. Fatu's not gonna get pinned. If he loses the title, it'll be because either Drew McIntyre pins Damian, Damian pins Drew, or LA pins one of them two.
I
That's the
don't
only
think
way.
LA Knight's going to.
Not LA. That's what I'm saying. They're not going to do that. That's not saying nothing against him. He is a very good middle guy. He's actually mastered. Let me be the middle guy. I can make
Yeah,
this title mean something. So I think Damian would look good with this title, and I don't know. And Jacob not losing, not being pinned, that actually could be what it is. Solo causes him to lose, but not lose.
that's
And
where
that's
I
how
was
he
going to go
loses
with it. You're talking about something that's going to cause him to not
friction.
be in the finish, but to still lose
Yes,
the match.
yes,
I think Solo cost him the belt, and that
yes.
either starts a feud between the two of them, or it
Because
might be the end of
Damien,
Solo. He might end him that night. I don't know.
I think Damien with the United States, I think that it'd be great to see him with the United States belt. I'd like to see what he could do with the United States belt.
Like I said, he what he did with the world title was good. I think he really didn't have a lot of momentum when they put that on him. I thought he did a good job of holding it together. The Judgment Day was really detracting things from his reign. That I think if he got a good reign by himself, I almost call it a solo reign, but with Solo involved, I can't say that. But yeah, I think him on his own with the middle title, they'll kind of like LA Knight did. They're going to elevate that title a little more, and then that kind of sets him up that maybe he can face Cena or Gunther or Orton or whoever has the belt at that point because he's a former champ, so he can do it. You got Drew sitting there as well. I'd like to see LA Knight in a world title picture at some point. Any of those, honestly, any of those four makes sense.
I yeah. So I mean, so you know what? That's my pick. I'm saying Damien Priest wins
Talk you into
um
it.
by pinning. Well, I mean, I forgot that it's a four-way match where Fatu
Yeah.
doesn't have to get pinned, and it doesn't hurt him losing the title unless he's the one that gets pinned to lose. And I just don't see that happening. And I feel like this needs to be the start of the him versus Solo.
And then, like you said, Solo building his force behind him, which gives Jacob plenty of people to go against until they're
Yes.
ready to move him where they need to.
Yeah. So that's what I think. And they're starting SmackDown off with the interview with Damian Priest. So, I mean, I've got it paused. So I'm
I
interested in
mean,
what's going to happen.
we just made that point, and I'm gonna do the same. I think Fatu is gonna lose his belt. It's gonna have nothing to do with him. I think Solo or maybe one of the brothers or somebody is going to cost him the match, maybe on purpose, maybe accidental, maybe they just get in the way. But man, I'd love to see LA Knight back with it. I just don't think it's going to go right back to him that way because it just doesn't. If he were to win it a one-on-one, there's one thing. I don't think he's going to win it back in this because then that kind of nullifies all that Fatu did to win it. Just for the sake of being different, I like that Priest probably should be the one to win, but give me Drew McIntyre to get a U.S. title run because they
Okay,
love to put foreigners in the U.S. title and they love to
together.
put Americans in the Intercontinental, and it makes no sense at all.
Very interesting. Speaking of Intercontinental, that's also being defended
It
tomorrow
is
night.
as not so dirty Dom starts his face run as he is going to face Penta. I don't know why Penta was such an early opponent for Dom because I don't think Dom is going to lose this early on. It makes no sense to move it. He's like I said, he is about to go on the face run that I wish Austin Theory would get because
Yes.
people wanted to cheer Dom this entire time. He's going to have to split from Judgment Day to do it. I do think Judgment Day will be down there in this one. They will try to cost him the match as much as possible, or at least Finn Balor will. It's going to set up Dom versus Finn probably SummerSlam.
Yeah. And Dom is fighting his turn. He's fighting it hard.
He's trying so
Yeah,
bad.
he really is. He likes it. And see, he kind of enjoys it. He's also trying to stay that dirty Dom guy. You could see the
He is.
Eddie Guerrero in him, how the whole lion cheating, stealing. I'm the bad guy, but you guys love that I'm a bad
Well, I don't know if
guy.
you've seen any of in the Chris Van Vliet interviews. I recently happened upon it, and I've been trying to listen to as many as possible. This guy's interviewed everybody. There's a clip where he has Rey Mysterio on recently, and he's talking about Dom. And even Ray goes, yeah, it's wild. He said, because he says, he goes, Dom getting to come up in that era where he saw you and Eddie and so many other family members like just tearing it up. Can you see the influence there? And he's like, yeah. He said, there's times when, like since they're on different shows, Ray might be at home watching Raw and he's seeing Dom just, burn the place down. And he looks over at his wife and his wife's like, I guess you figured out by now, me and Eddie that one time, because that
guy.
that does not look like your kid. That looks like Eddie Jr.
Yeah, I seen what Ray said how he would have loved to have seen um Eddie and Dom together. Like he
I could
and
I could see a storyline where they're kind of a tag team for a minute, the way that Ray and Dom were. Like he splits over to that, and like Eddie like pulls him to the dark side over there, and just there's no telling what Dom could get into if he had Eddie beside him.
yeah, it's a great I like what they're doing with him. They better not take the title of him. I feel like Penta because what they're doing, they're trying to push Penta as much as possible. And they're trying to make fans boo Dom because everybody loves Penta. And so they're putting him against this big face. And they're like, what are we going to do? What happens here? And it's going to
Yeah.
lead because you're seeing a lot of JD McDonough going against Penta, Carlito. So it's going to be interesting.
Well, I said at the beginning before we started this show that Penta versus JD was such a spectacular match to me, but JD McDonough might be my favorite performer right now in WWE. I don't think there's anybody that sells out moves the way he does that just and to be such a just middle tier guy like if and it's not because he's short. I think just like Finn, they're shorter guys, but they very much can be in a main title picture. But JD just goes out there and just throws himself at every match. And that's why he gets hurt a lot. But I don't think there's anybody out there that takes falls the way he does.
With the signing of or with the purchase of AAA, I wouldn't be surprised to see a cruiserweight division being brought back and JD running it.
They sort of have it. It's the 205 Live or the Evolve or whatever their like
Yeah,
Wednesday internet show is that I don't watch. That's sort of what it is because when they just released a bunch of talent that we'll talk about next week, they gave some of them the option that, hey, we're going to take you off the main two shows, but you're some of you are welcome to go to NXT again if you want. or some of you are welcome to kind of have a home on that other show. And a lot of them were like, nope, I'll just
Well, I
leave.
know we thought that they released Chelsea, but they signed her to a new 5.
Yeah.
And they said the
Well,
reason that
yeah,
Braun was released was because of his contract.
that's part of
Strowman.
it.
Yeah, Strowman. Well, they
Well,
said he had one of the biggest
I
contracts,
told you
but
to
also,
remind me of that. You already have Braun Breaker, even though it's
yeah,
spelled different. You can't have Braun and Braun. It gets really confusing.
yeah.
The same way we have Chad Gable, who was given the name Gable. That's not his real last name, folks. He was given that because he's a former U.S. Olympic wrestler. So they said, let's give you the Gable name, which is a big one. If Gable Steveson had actually worked out and not flaked out the way he did, if Gable Steveson would have actually worked by the time he made his debut at NXT, Chad Gable would have got released the next day because you can't have Gable and Gable when he's really Gable Steveson and he's Chad, whatever his last name is.
Um, Maybe he would have got with
Because his
uh
brother was there too. Gable Stevenson's brother was in NXT and he asked for his release, I think. So maybe they do something together now.
oh, but yeah. I'll pick Dominic. I didn't know if he'd said it, but I'm picking Dominic Win.
Yeah, yeah,
See, we
Dom
have
all the way
four
on that one.
minutes.
We
We
have
have four
four to
minutes
talk about
and
the
one
last
match.
match. I think that's more than enough. Lyra versus Becky. I've got Lyra all the way. Could Becky win? Absolutely. I've got Lyra all the way. Becky came back for two reasons. One, I think she wants her daughter to see her wrestle. I mean, it means she's going to stick around a few more years. And two, she wants to build up her friend Lyra, who is kind of like her understudy, the one being brought up, the next her, she thinks, from the home country and everything. And she's like, the best way to build her up is if she faces me, because then I can control how she looks, how she's going to react, and how things are going to go. Because she can just go, I'm not winning, she's winning, and WWE goes, okay, Lyra wins.
Lyra wins because Bailey comes back and gets her payback.
See, this would be the perfect time for Bad Bailey to come back.
But Bad Bailey's not going to be able to come back because Becky's the one that took her out, and Becky's bad. So it's going to be good Bailey that's going to come back and make sure that Bad Becky doesn't beat Lyra. And
Chad Gable's Chad Gable's real name, by the way, Charles Edward Betts. Told you, not his name's not even Chad.
yeah, we both got Lyra winning.
Yeah.
A couple quick things I want to
Yep.
SmackDown and Raw. Um, I don't know if I like what they're doing with the women's title on with Tiffany. Was that Raw?
Yeah. They need to either flip.
Um,
That's SmackDown. They need to either. No, she's on
SmackDown. Yeah.
Raw.
No, no, she might be because on Raw it's like EO,
She. Oh, that's right. It's SmackDown.
but
She
it's
needs to
SmackDown.
be heel, and if she's not heel, she needs to drop the belt.
Number two, on the women's on what they're doing. I love all the way. EO is now welcoming all these, and you've seen at the end of that Roxanne match where they shook hands. It was just a setup. So it's Raw women's division. They're doing a great job. SmackDown, they're dropping the ball, and I think that they needed some new flesh blood over there on SmackDown. Tiffany
They do,
needs to
but
quit fighting all these veterans.
random people.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, because I don't know, like I think Tiffany and Jada. That's why Tiffany has to go back so that Cargill can be the good because Bad Naomi's great. Actually, I would almost put
See,
the belt on Bad Naomi.
what did I tell you? I was like, Bad Bailey is my favorite. Bad Naomi is going to be fantastic. You're going to love it.
Yeah, I'm seeing. So let's put the belt on her, and then she could drop it at Cargill eventually.
Yeah, I'm definitely good with that.
We got
What was I
about a
gonna
little
say?
over a minute, I see. So, what's your final thoughts?
What was I gonna say? I was gonna say something.
There was something you was going to ask me. I didn't know if you got to it or not.
Oh, real quickly. This has to be like you have to be like Paul Heyman to the bloodline here. What entrance would you come out and be a part of? Like you can't just be a bump on a log. If you're coming out with Jay, it's because you're going to be doing this or throwing a towel or something too. What entrance would you want to come out with? Who do you think you could actually add something to?
You know what? To be honest with you, dude, you mentioned it. the way that Paul is coming out behind Braun now, it is making him look like the lighting. It is making him look like a straight beast because Paul's right over there to his right, and Braun's just standing there, and he just looks scary. So I love that. I like that. Like, yeah, I'm digging that. I'm gonna say that. I don't like all that energy. I'm gonna take my time to get to the ring because once I get there, all my energy is being put on you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess we'll have to get my answer next week. We're out of time. We're not real small or anything but bony. Until next time, we're the Backstage Jabronis.
Backstage Jabronis.